Matthew Vaughn is finally here with his prequel installment to his Kingsman franchise, The Kingsman. I'm going to let you know what I think about this one next. Hey everyone, it's the Outlaw John Rocha here with a non-spoiler review for The Kingsman, this prequel installment in the Kingsman franchise from director Matthew Vaughn. You know, this one's been much delayed over the last couple of years until finally it's coming out here on a theatrical release this weekend. A lot of people loved the first installment of the Kingsman franchise. The second installment, The Golden Circle, bit of a mixed reception from a number of fans and critics. So people hoping that this one comes out and recaptures the magic of the first one. And I'll let you know what I think about it in just a second. But first, I want to remind you all to please subscribe to the channel down below. Hit that subscribe button, hit that bell button so you see when we're dropping all the new content we do here. Trying to cross that 20,000 subscribers mark by the end of 2021. So help me do that. And if you're on Twitch, follow and subscribe to me on Twitch, the Outlaw Nation, all one word, for the play-alongs, watch-alongs, and the John and Wendy Show on Fridays. And I'll let you know later how you can be part of the Patreon and have an interactive component to your support of the Outlaw Nation. Now, that first film launched Taron Egerton and Sofia Boutella into our public consciousness, and you had Colin Firth and Michael Caine and Mark Strong along for the ride in that one. In the second film, you're bringing along Halle Berry, Channing Tatum, Pedro Pascal. Really good casts in both of them. We had Elton John, really good cast, and Julianne Moore, really good cast in both of these films. But now we jump into this third one. So, you know, the bar's kind of high. You got to match that bar. And I think they do casting-wise. They match it really well with Ralph Fiennes leading the way, Gemma Arterton, Djimon Hounsou, Charles Dance, Matthew Goode, and Daniel Brühl popping up, and Rhys Ifans showing up in this, as well as Rasputin. All right, the basic premise of this movie is described as this. In the early years of the 20th century, the Kingsman Agency is formed to stand against a cabal plotting a war to wipe out millions. That's the basic synopsis of the movie. It's set right around the beginning of World War I. Ralph Fiennes plays his character named Oxford, who's been raising his son to not be a part of any kind of battles or any kind of wars because he's afraid to lose him. Meanwhile, he's been doing some stuff on the side without his son's knowledge, working with Gemma Arterton, working with Djimon Hounsou, advising Charles Dance's character, advising Matthew Goode on what is happening here in the world as countries are moving into position to start World War I. So that's basically the first half of the film. Something tragic happens, and then Oxford really dials in with his crew to go after the people who are trying to start World War I. And there's some betrayal, there's some intrigue, backstabbing, and then finally at the end, a fantastic finale of hand-to-hand combat that I think is really, really fun to watch. Now, my thoughts initially, I can tell you this about the movie. I think it's half good in that the first part of the movie gets bogged down in this whole father-son thing. Will he or won't he? Will he serve? Will he not serve? What's the relation? How far is he going to allow him to serve? If he does allow him to serve, why is he kind of being this way? And you know why, but then again, you kind of have to be like, well, you're acting a certain way, but yet you're doing something else in the background. And so it just becomes a little annoying after a while. And then something tragic happens, and then boom, now the movie kicks into gear. That's when we start having a lot of fun. It doesn't mean that there aren't some fun sequences in the first half of the movie. Certainly them going toe-to-toe with Rhys Ifans as Rasputin is a lot of fun. The fight sequence, the hand-to-hand combat fight sequence with Rasputin is a joy to watch and evokes some of the fun that you remember from the first Kingsman movie and the occasional spots in the second Kingsman movie in terms of the fights that they're having and the battles and the brutality of the fights as well. It really comes clear in the movie, but it doesn't really kick into high gear until the second half of the film. In the second half of the film, it becomes a fun, awesome action adventure movie that does capture some of the magic from the first installment in this franchise. Unfortunately, overall, kind of an uneven film for me, but still one to go see, still one I would definitely recommend and say you go see, but don't expect to enjoy it the way you did the first installment in the franchise, unfortunately. But it's certainly better than the second installment for sure. But yeah, in terms of the acting, the kind of things that I liked, love the acting. I think Ralph Fiennes did a really nice job. Gemma Arterton putting on a different accent, different British accent, and she comes across so powerfully, so strong. Look, Ray Fiennes is a solid actor. You don't need me to kiss his butt in this movie to tell you that he's damn good. He brings it, and you see it from the trailer. He's bringing that ferocity, that passion, that emotion that you need for a role like this. But Gemma Arterton is the standout here. She is so powerful and commanding in her moment, so simplistic in her approaches to things, so cool, so calm, so collected, so funny, so sweet, and at times very vulnerable and tender, and other times very hardcore and on point in terms of delivering the violence. So a great combination. Gemma Arterton needs to be working more in this business, for God's sakes. People need to be handing her more roles. She is damn good when she does stuff like this. Djimon Hounsou, again, another veteran actor doing his thing. So much fun to see him. The man doesn't age. He looks the same way now that he did when I saw him in Gladiator, and that was 21 years ago. I don't know what he's doing, but he looks exactly the same. He looks damn good. Rhys Ifans is great as Rasputin. The great combo of creepiness. The accent works really well. There's a sequence where him and Oxford, that's Ray Fiennes' character, have this almost, how can I say this, homosexual interaction between them that carries a lot of potency and tension throughout, that I think was fantastic the way it's done. For me personally, I enjoyed that. It's a nice little color to throw into the Kingsman franchise as well. Let's see who else. Charles Dance certainly does his thing. No problem. Matthew Goode is interesting as well as a character, certainly playing certainly playing a second in command and what his character becomes. I think it's fun to watch that progression as well. Harris Dickinson is the one person that I think it's kind of a little bit boring. I'm sorry. I don't mean to offend him, but he's a little bit boring here as Conrad Oxford. And that could be the writing. It could be the way they've set up this relationship, but he's the one person that I think is a little bit not quite on par with everybody else and isn't bringing it as powerfully as everybody else is. Oh, another cast member I forgot to mention is Tom Hollander. Tom Hollander does a fantastic job in this movie playing three different characters. He's playing King George, Kaiser Wilhelm, and he's playing Tsar Nicholas there. So because apparently they were triplets, and he's playing all the different sections, and he does a great job playing these roles. So got to give a lot of love to him as well. And Daniel Brühl popping up doing his thing. It's just Daniel Brühl popping up doing his thing and having a little fun with this as well. The action sequences are really well done. That's another thing that I think Matthew Vaughn does well in this film. The action sequence in terms of direction, he's really good at doing these action sequences and from the different locations we go to, the different places that we go to in the film, the way he stages the action sequences really work. The occasional moments of how can I say this, of intimate interaction, whether it's father and son, whether it's Oxford with Gemma Arterton's character, whether it's Djimon Hounsou and Oxford having their moment, having their interactions. Those are kind of uneven at times, but it's the action sequences where Matthew Vaughn's direction really shines, and he does a fantastic job in a lot of these, especially that finale. My God, that finale is a lot of fun to watch when we finally get to it. It is, as I said earlier, it is brutal, it is crazy, it is out there, it is funny, and that ending is satisfying for damn sure. Anything else? The score, I think I like the score. The music is really good. Music gets you into the passion and the swashbuckling nature of the movie for sure. And at times the tension. The music is Dominic Lewis and Matthew Margeson. Certainly a good job there by them as well. If you ask me what I would ding about it, is that father-son relationship. It keeps it from being a more interesting, a more powerful film, a more fun film, a more interesting film. And I get it. You're trying to, in essence, set up some kind of how can I say this? Some kind of relationship that's going to motivate them to do the things that they're going to do later on in the film. But in the end, it just becomes kind of like, I don't know, it just seems weird. It doesn't hit the right notes, hit the right beats. It feels forced at times. It feels like it doesn't. They threw it in just so they could use it to launch something else. And to me, that seemed a little weird, and it didn't feel earned or organic in the flow of the movie. And it's like, you should have just jumped from one thing to that. Just do the one thing, just set that all up, and then jump to the other thing. Overall, I give the film 3.5 cowboy hats. There's enough here to enjoy, certainly in the second half of the movie. And the acting is really well done. I liked a lot of the dialogue. It's fun to go back during this time period. See some, if you're a history major, if you know the history of this time period, it's nice to see them referencing certain things, giving you history lessons of what's happening. So that's what I would say about this film overall. It does give you some fun stuff to enjoy, some fun stuff to go along with. But the first half of the film almost threatens to capsize the movie. But in the end, they right the ship and they bring it into port in a satisfying way. So if you get a chance to go see this movie, let me know what you thought about it in the comments section below. Remember to hit a like on this video and share it on your social media. Also, let me know what you thought about the review in the comments section below. As I said, share it on your social media. When you share it on your social media, you're telling your friends and family, hey, the Outlaw Nation is a cool place to come enjoy some content. Maybe they'll come along and join the Outlaw Nation as well. And speaking of the Outlaw Nation, remember to subscribe to the channel. Down below, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell button so you see when we're dropping all the new content we do here on the Outlaw Nation channel. And if you're on Twitch, follow and subscribe to me there on Twitch, the Outlaw Nation, all one word. And if you want to have an interactive part and support us and get some benefits for your support of the Outlaw Nation, head on over to the Patreon, patreon.com/John Rocha, and see all the multiple tiers you can be a part of today. All right, take care of yourselves, be well, and I'll talk to you next time with another brand new review here on the Outlaw Nation.